Hi there, we are currently in a small little apartment in Franklin, Tennessee that's it's called The Cottage, and it's actually Peter Furler's cottage. It's been a lot of things in its time. I actually lived here once. Thanks, Pete. My eldest daughter took her first spoonful of real food here, rice milk, in that kitchen. Currently, this has been a sort of Pete's recording studio for quite a while now, and this is definitely where a lot of the musical action in Go took place. Matter of fact, Newsboys rehearsed here a few weeks ago as well. So Pete, how's it going, mate?
Good, mate. How you doing?
That's great.
Been enjoying your podcast lately too.
Oh, thanks,
yeah,
mate.
Good.
Yeah.
The one with Squiz, that was good. You guys should do it for a living or something.
Squiz being Duncan Phillips.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I'll interpret, that's fine.
Okay.
You go with all the nicknames, all the lingo, and I'll do my best.
Okay.
So, this is why I'm here today. I've observed a few things in here and I just want to get clarification. We're currently on the couch. I'm known for my intellect.
Yeah.
And that's how I can tell this is a couch. Before we go any further, there's a dog over your right shoulder.
Well, actually, it's not really a couch. This is where he lives.
Okay.
He just kind of lets me hang here every now and then.
How long have you had that dog for?
I've had that dog since, I'll put it in sort of a discography terms, I think I've had that dog since Not Ashamed.
And for those people tuning in who are unfamiliar with the Newsboys catalogue, and shame on you for not downloading it before you even saw this, but we're talking 1992?
Yeah. So how long's that? 14 years. He's 14 years old now.
Wow.
He's actually a French supermodel.
Really?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Right now he's wearing Derelique. Yeah.
Is he really? And what's his name?
His name is Bull.
Bull.
Yeah.
B-U-L-L.
Yeah, easy to spell. Just straight to the point.
Alright, Bull. Bull!
He hasn't listened for 15 years.
Really?
He's not going to start now.
Fair enough. Okay, so this is what I've observed that I've actually mentioned in interviews, because people ask me, about the record, and what I say is, Peter's not like sitting there going, okay, what's this record going to be about? It's much more instinctive than that. But I believe that this couch and that little area behind us there, which is kind of like a little mini songwriting, demoing area, this area and that area been quite instrumental.
Yeah.
So what happens in this area on the couch besides Bull's sleeping place that he shares with you?
Well, I like to read.
Yeah.
So I'll come out here, a lot, and just kind of sit here and read for a bit. Whatever. Seems to be more exciting than what's on TV, except for your podcast, of
Thank
course.
you.
And then I'll just, and then I usually sit at that chair there, and I'll put headphones on and just start playing, and see what comes.
You get tired after all that?
A little bit. That's really it. There's not much more to it than that. And sometimes what you've been reading comes out there, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it comes out, years later. I don't know, but that sort of seems to be it's kind of like the process,
Okay, what have we got here? William Carey.
Yeah.
Whose name made it into the song The Mission.
Yeah, he did. There you go. See, it works.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. I knew there was a correlation between here and over there.
Yeah.
But The Mission, am I correct in saying that, like, I heard a demo that you described of how you recorded it, and I want to hear that story again.
I was up at the previous house that I used to live in, and I was in the bonus room, which I'd sort of turned into a studio, and we ended up cutting Step Up to the Microphone there, the whole record, in this bonus room in this house. But before that, it wasn't a studio. It was just a regular kind of playroom that people have in their houses, and so I had a drum kit set up. And so I had a drum kit, a bass guitar, and a guitar. And so what I'd do is there was no one else around, and so I was usually late at night, so I'd have to play all the instruments, and I was mainly a drummer, so I would get a click track and I would run it. The click track is like a metronome to keep me in time. And I'd play the whole song in my head, along with the drums. and then I'd go and play the bass and play the guitar to it. But the only way I could record the drums, because I didn't have any microphone stands, and I thought it gave the best sound too, was I'd put a microphone in the kick drum, in the bass drum, and then I would get a 57 mic, a Shure 57, and I would put the cord around my neck, and I would let it hang, let it hang like a necklace, Because this was kind of around the time of hip hop,
Right.
really bursting in.
Right, yeah.
I didn't have any gold chains, so.
No.
But I'd hang this 57 around my neck and I'd just play, and it really got this incredible sound. And I think one of the loops from that kit I ended up using on Million Pieces, probably years later. And so I document all that stuff, that's what that rig's for, just, always documenting. And, so I've got stuff from back then where I've, like the Mission, I've got the original demo that I did when I had that microphone.
Where you going?
I sing to it. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the one.
You don't want to give us a better demo of it?
No, I thought I can't surpass that.
Okay, cool. One of the things that I've been asked quite a bit in interviews is talking about the theme of the record. The album called Go, it's sort of based on the Great Commission that Jesus gave. But as I said before, I know that you're not the kind of guy that sits down and goes, I'm going to write an album about the Great Commission. So when did it hit you that actually quite a few of these songs seem to be about that idea, and where do you think it all came from?
I think we've discussed this, and you asked me that question, but you could probably describe it better than I could. But to my memory, it wasn't. I don't think we've ever done anything where we've sat down and said, this record, I don't particularly, but where you sit down and say, I'm going to write a record and it's about this. A lot of the songs on this record are not necessarily, where we're at. Some of them are where we want to be. You know what I mean? And so I think, to answer your question, it was really a time when, we just sat down and started writing. I think we had 75 or 80 ideas for this record, which is a lot for us. Normally we don't have that many. And so they started sort of, as one song sort of to become a cornerstone song, thematically or just melodic, or just as a great song, started to make sense. And then another one comes along and fits in with that, and then you start to get a continuity on the record. It's kind of like you put your head down, you're working, you're recording, you're writing, you're out here for many hours, and you're at the studio, and then you kind of put your head up and you look back and you go, hey, this is turning out to be this. It's like the story starts to tell itself. And this record, Go, was a record that we did sit down and purposely say, we're going to write a record about the Great Commission. It just happened. And so it happens with a mixture of all these things, all of us working together, and what we're reading, and who we're hanging out with, and the churches that we go to, and the places that we see around the world, and the things we see happening outside of the Western world, and playing in front of 15,000 Muslims in Marrakesh, Morocco, the New Age Festival on the Sea of Galilee. These things begin to affect the way you see the world.